Let's embrace solar for every rooftop and go green with every kilowatt hour coming from the sun. Cities, villages, deserts and oceans witness the orchestra of sunlight and technology. We are experts in harnessing the power of sunlight. We aim to become part of nature, illuminate every corner of the world, and inspire many more possibilities, making the most of every ray. Fusion Solar.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to your last session of the day. Last but not least, because this is the well-waited for Solar Diversity Champion Awards. Today, we want to acknowledge and celebrate the organization which have demonstrated their commitment and success creating diverse and inclusive working environments. So I wanted to thank all the organizations which have applied, because we've received tremendous application which were great. So now we have only 3 finalists today, but really thank you all for your commitment and your initiatives. So at the end of this session, you will be in charge, because you will have the opportunity to vote for who you think should win the gold, silver, or bronze award. So please stay tuned. But now I would like to thank also our juries that we have with us today. First, I would like to give the floor to our first jury member, Marine Cornelis, which is founder and executive director of Next Energy Consumer, and she's also creator of the Energetic podcast. And honestly, I really recommend you to listen to it, because it's wonderful. So I give you the floor to introduce yourself and also to tell us what you felt about the award so far.
Thank you so much, Charlotte, and thank you so much, Solar Power Europe, for the invitation. It's really indeed an honor to be part of this jury today, and because actually I've been mesmerized by the quality of the applications. I think there are so many good ideas coming from so many different places, and that's exactly what we need now, because maybe the technology is quite mature, but to make the difference, to really challenge the status quo and make sure that solar becomes really the norm, we really have to embrace a variety of perspective. And this variety of perspective also comes from a variety of talents, meaning they don't come from the same background, not only engineers, let's say, for instance, not the same gender, not the same social origin, not the same continent of origin as well. And this is exactly what I try to put forward also in my work as a consultant for Next Energy Consumer, and also in my Energetic podcast. So thank you so much for mentioning it. And really, as a consultant, indeed, I focus on policy, but my work is not only about policy. I try to make it about people. I really aim to champion the unheard. I focus a lot on energy poverty, on consumer empowerment, on consumer rights, and I really want to bring the margins into the center of the energy transition, because we are all on board and we are all really on the same boat. And to really spark collective intelligence, we need a variety of interpretations, and that will come with languages, profiles, background, etc.
Thank you so much, Marine. And now I would like to give the floor to Milan and Sofiane, who are both coming from Inclusion Europe. So if you could kindly introduce yourself and tell us what you felt about the awards.
Yeah, well, so thank you again also for the opportunity to participate in this. It was an interesting exercise. And we, of course, focused on the disability aspect. So we looked at how the the applications took into account disability perspective and inclusion of people with disabilities. That's what we do, and we worked on it on Sufyan. So Sufyan, maybe you can tell a little bit first about Inclusion Europe and then how we evaluated the...
Hi everyone, my name is Sufyan Al-Amrani. I'm the accessibility expert at Inclusion Europe. Inclusion Europe is an organization that defends the rights and interests of people with intellectual disabilities in Europe.
Yeah, and for context, of course, it's important to say that there's 100 million people with disabilities in Europe. So for every business or any other endeavor, it's important to include them, and both as customers and as in the workforce, essentially. And there are many barriers to that, both from the side of customers in inaccessible environments, inaccessible information and processes, and the software, for example, that people are supposed to use. So that's what is important to address to reach the full potential as you were describing it. Yeah, well, maybe, and so Sufyan's role with Inclusion Europe is especially around accessibility and accessibility of information, with easy to read, and maybe and you can say just a little bit about that, what it is, Sufyan.
I help look at documents and try to put them and write them in easy to read. And then I do like trainings on easy to read, how to write easy to read materials, and also I help do trainings on the right to vote and education.
And what is easy to read? Just
easy to read is information that is written in a simpler language for people with intellectual disabilities.
Thank you very much. And indeed, when we connected on social media earlier, I had some time to look at your post, and it was really fascinating to see how we don't think about it when we write a post, that it might not be easy for everyone to read. And yes, looking at your post, I tried to make my social media post a bit easier to grasp, because indeed, short sentences and trying to go to the point sometimes is important to include everyone. So thank you so much for that. And now that we've heard about inclusion, I wanted to introduce Amélie, which works at Fleischmann Hillard in the sector of energy, but also is advocacy co-lead at the Brussels Binder. And it's very interesting to have your experience working more in the gender sector. And so, yeah, maybe if you want to introduce yourself, tell us a bit more about what you do.
Yeah, of course. Happy to, Charlotte. Super excited to be here today with my fellow jury. Essentially, the Brussels Binder is an organization that was founded in 2017. And they were founded because we still saw so many panel discussions happening in Brussels that were just not diverse. So we wanted to do something about that, and specifically about the gender balance. So our key asset is the Brussels Binder, which is a resource that event organizers can use, which is full of women experts in loads of different fields. So essentially we get rid of the excuse of, oh, we couldn't find a diverse speaker, we couldn't find a woman in this field. They do exist, they're there, and here's the resource to go and find them. Since this year, we've expanded our mission, and we're also looking at other aspects of diversity. So not only thinking about gender equality, but diversity more broadly. So also people's abilities, people's ethnic backgrounds, people's sexuality, where that's relevant for the topic and the discussions that we're having today, to make them as representative as possible. And I have an exciting announcement to make, actually. At the start of December, we will be launching our manifesto, which is a document that organizations and individuals can pledge to only organize diverse policy debates, which is super important, especially in the run-up to the European elections. We want to make sure everyone is represented, and also after, in the next mandate, so that we can make sure all the discussions we're having in Europe are as diverse as possible and everyone feels represented. So I'm very excited about that. Now, this is a project that I do in my free time because the Brussels Minder is a volunteer-run organization. So my day job, as you said, is for Fleischmann Hillard, where I focus on energy policy and industrial policy. So I'm so glad that I'm able to contribute and combine these two passions here today. I'm super excited to hear from the candidates again today. Of course, we had a look at their projects already, but it'll be lovely to hear them present, and I'm sure the audience will be just as excited to hear from them. So good luck to all the candidates, and excited to hear more.
Yes, and thank you so much for teasing for what's to come. So now we will hear from our finalists. So I would like to introduce the first finalist, which we've listed in alphabetical order. This way, it was as transparent as possible. So the first one is Rescop EU, and we have Antonia, Proca project manager and at Rescop, and also Sarah Tachelet, communications manager, who are here in the studio. So I give you the floor now to present your initiatives.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having us here today. We're very happy, and we're actually very honored to be among the top candidates for this award. It's quite important for us to be here to talk about all the work that we do in the sector, to try to support the development of more just energy, sustainable transition for everyone. Maybe let me say a few words about the organization that we represent here today. For those of you that do not know us, we are Rescop EU, the European Federation of Citizen Energy Cooperatives. We were founded about 10 years ago, actually. We are based in Brussels, but we represent energy communities from all across the EU. Today, we are representing about 1,900,000 energy cooperatives for all across. Most of them are actually developing also solar projects, so it's a very good fit with the work that we do today. And we're here to talk about maybe the last bullet that you see, the work that we do in regards to the energy transition, gender justice, the equality platform more specifically. And we do this in the context of the Gender Power Working Group that we have developed in the past 2 years and a couple of months maybe, but Rescop EU has actually been working on the topic already before, because as Sarah will explain.
Yes, so the energy cooperatives in our network, they usually comply with what we call the ICA principles, so the principles outlined by the International Cooperative Alliance. And you will see that inclusion and diversity is actually already in the DNA of such initiatives. You could see that from the principles such as voluntary and open membership, so everybody is welcome to join an energy cooperative regardless of racial background, political or social or gender backgrounds. There's another principle, which is democratic governance. So everyone in the cooperative can vote, and they have one person has one vote. They include these topics also through their education and training, try to be as inclusive as possible to get everyone on board. And then also there is the concern for the community. So energy cooperatives, they concern for the community, and they want to build together an energy transition that includes everyone, that leaves no one behind. We are also part of Cooperatives Europe as a member organization, and through this partnership we also signed the Gender Equality Charter of Cooperatives Europe, mainly outlining our common engagement as cooperatives, energy cooperatives, but also beyond, to make sure that there is equality between women and men, and that the principle is at the core of each cooperative. Already from the get-go, so we were launched indeed 10 years ago, we included this justice and the gender justice aspect into our statutes. So we really found it important to reflect that also in the formal organizational structure. So it is instated in our statutes that each member of the board, each director, can be represented by 2 people. So and
those two people need to be of a different gender. So that was very important for us to have that equal representation into our board, into our main decision-making organ.
So there was quite a good base, let's say, to start our work. But still, when we launched the Gender Power Working Group, we gathered a couple of people. That's just an indicative picture to show that it's not only about women, it's about everyone. And we sat together to discuss what do we want to achieve? What is our ambition? Where do we want to go? There was a lot about women's visibility, a lot about like practical removal of barriers. But I have to stress here that when we talk about the issue, we take an intersectional approach. It's not only about men, women, and all the other communities. We're talking about different issues that come together. We talk about the disadvantaged communities that we want to work together with. And in fact, our main ambition is to contribute to a just energy transition, promoting the meaningful participation of people of all genders, everyone, on equal terms, as active actors and beneficiaries. And we wanted to be concrete, so we actually also have specific targets when it comes to the statutes. We want to have a gender equality clause in the statutes of the energy communities. We want them to see this gender equality actually reflected in their governing bodies. And of course, the bigger ambition is to achieve a gender balanced and just membership by 2030. We have taken a lot of actions when it comes to communications, for instance. I'll pass again to Sarah.
Yes, we do also active campaigns around the topic. So it's not one single shot campaign. We do it on a regular basis. So we really include the topic of gender justice into our communication work. And we do campaigns, for example, around International Women's Day in March. So what we want to do is increase visibility for the women in our network. So we do that through social media. We do that through interviews. We ask them, what does it mean to be a female leader in the community energy sector? We ask them about their work. How do they tackle the issue of gender equality? So as I said, we highlight those stories of those women through our social media channels, on our website, also through a bunch of videos we did last year that was very engaging. We had a few videos where these women could talk about their cooperative and why they wanted to be gender just.
Exactly. So a lot of action regarding communication, but also a lot of action to learn from each other. We have gathered a lot of times to discuss these particular strategies that the energy communities develop when it comes to the boards, when it comes to the workshops, the way they organize the workshops. For instance, you can see here we have talked about how important it is to have a just representation of the different genders on the panels of the event they organize, the trainers that they organize, the trainings that they organize, all the activities, and how important it is to also visualize this, to present that when we talk about community energy, everyone is welcome. We talked a lot also about the importance of role models, how important it is to put to the forefront the powerful women that we have in the community. At the same time, we tackled the issue of some more difficult conversations, the importance of having the space to have the more difficult conversations, this kind of safe space to discuss, and the importance of having the particular people, let's say the people responsible to tackle any kind of crisis that may emerge. So we have been participating in numerous events that our members have been inviting us to. We have learned from the experts in our community and beyond, and we have really invited and connected to other experts to learn about particular tools that we can apply and support the members of our federation to improve their activities, to become more inclusive, to become more diverse. And when we talk, of course, about inclusion, we have a lot of times we have been discussing also about the crucial issue of energy poverty. How can we, in fact, address energy poverty in Europe? And we realized and we learned that the way to address energy poverty is via solidarity, by working together, by coming together and by supporting each other. And in fact, at the end of this month, we will be organizing some open days. We will go to London to visit one of the experts, again, from our community, Repowering London, to learn from them and see how we can become truly inclusive and get the power of the communities actually on board.
So we started 10 years ago. I told you with the statutes, we are evolving. So we are a learning organization. And last year we changed our statutes. So what we wanted to do is we had a case where there was one cooperative as part of the board that wanted to have two female representatives. And therefore we decided to change our statutes to allow more women to become part of this of the board. And therefore we changed the phrasing so that at least one member should identify as a female, allowing for two female representatives of each board member. What was also important for us is that last year, the ambition statement that was prepared and discussed heavily with the Gender Power Working Group, that our board of directors also endorsed that document. So we were in Athens last year in May, and there all the board members signed the ambition statement and made a public announcement of the fact that they supported and acknowledged the work of our Gender Power Working Group.
And we have also, as we mentioned, we have been learning a lot ourselves and we have been changing ourselves. So in the context of all this, we have also developed a gender equality plan together, all the colleagues of Rescue PU. We worked tackling different issues, like for instance here have some examples regarding work-life balance and the organizational culture, just to avoid particular hours for meetings, to enable the participation in events online, when it comes to the recruitment and career progression, we have really discussed, despite the fact that our team is already diverse, we have 7 different nationalities at Rescue PU, we want to extend our invitation to involve more candidates from more like underrepresented backgrounds in our team. We really wish to diversify further. And last, we have also been talking about integrating diversity and inclusivity in our workshops, in our training activities, but we also use it in our internal events, in internal meetings, to challenge us a little bit more. So for instance, we have like, when we discuss different topics, we always want to ask the question, okay, is there a gender perspective on the matter? Can we think of an issue about that? So to conclude, 10 years of activities, 10 years of action. We are learning. We are not, obviously, we're not perfect, but we are learning. We want to learn. We want to grow. It's really in alignment with our vision to grow the movement, to diversify the movement. We want to keep on growing, keep on diversifying, because we really wish to become really like the front runners, the pioneers in bringing a very just, transformative, really sustainable, truly inclusive energy transition forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Antonia and Sarah. It was definitely a great initiatives that you are doing. A lot to take in, but I'm glad that you are constantly improving and looking for new ways to be as diverse as possible. So thank you for that. So our next finalist who will present will be from Solar Edge. So we have Ricky Curran, VP Global Information System at Solar Edge, and Gilly Swery, Head of Corporate Social Responsibility at Solar Edge. So the floor is yours.
Okay. So hi everyone, really nice to meet you. My name is Gili. I'm the head of corporate social responsibility here at SolarEdge. I'm very excited to be here with you today and talk about really the shining star of our diversity programs. Now, before we delve into the program itself, I wanted to show you SolarEdge's diversity and inclusion statement. And I really want to say that we see diversity and inclusion as an integral part of our mission and our vision. And you know, when we think about how SolarEdge is going to grow, we see diversity and inclusion being a major part of it. And we have a whole work plan for diversity and inclusion. We've defined 3 focus areas for our diversity and inclusion. And today I want to talk to you about intersectionality. So intersectionality is when multiple marginalization circles come together, creating an even more systematic discrimination. And we see today that women from ethnic minorities face additional barriers related to their participation and engagement in high tech and in general, and in tech position even more specifically. Now, I want to exemplify this with an illustration. As you can see here, As the pyramid goes on, the representation of women narrows down from the general percentage of women in high tech, women in STEM positions, women of color. And for this specific program, we decided to address the tip of the iceberg and work with a sub-ethnic group of women, because our thesis was that if we'll invest in the tip of the iceberg, the impact it will have will go along the stream to all other layers of the pyramid. So I want you to meet the tip of the iceberg, our target population for this program. We are talking about women from a sub-ethnic minority group called Bedouin. They are a part of the Arab society. They consist of 3% of the population, and they are a very traditional and conservative society. We can see also, according to a range of studies, that there is a gender gap in regards to education and employment between men and women from this community. And we're talking about their integration in the labor market. We see four main challenges. So the first one being an educational gap. We know that 12% out of Bedouin women who are working don't have a level of education higher than junior high. There is also a lack of digital skills, geography. They are located remotely away from the tech hubs, and also unemployment and low income employment. As you can see here, only 21% of Bedouin women in working ages, which is 25 to 64, are working. That means an unemployment rate of 79%. This is huge. And I want you guys to remember these four main challenges because we will go back to them shortly. Now, I just want to say here that, we can build the most amazing diversity program, but we could never execute them without management being on board and without having leaders inside SolarEdge who see an opportunity and are willing to take this as an opportunity with all the agility it requires in their departments. And I'm very lucky and happy to be working with such great manager, Ricky, who really took this initiative from A to Z and will now share from her perspective how it looked like.
So hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be part of this program. When we started this program, actually it came up when we started a big program in SolarEdge in replacing one of our core information system. We call it ERP, but actually it's a core business processes needed in running the company financially, HR, manufacturing, and supply chain, and much more of that. So we had this project, and we thought that for this kind of a project, we must have two areas that we didn't have yet in our company. One of them is support 24/7, and the other one is the quality, the QA team. And when it's so easy when you are a manager and you are managing this kind of a project, actually to go to kind of a company that's especially in this area, in the quality, in support area, or signing a subcontractor or something like this. And it's easy, and it's much easier to go like this and then facing. But when I met those ladies at their hub and listened to the story that they have, and understanding the needs, and I thought that I couldn't miss this goal to go and have the opportunity to integrate those ladies in my company and in my department as this. So we had to do a brainstorming with my manager. It's not easy to bring those ladies since they have their own culture. Sometimes they cannot reach to you. There is a lot of restrict from the culture, from the religious area, and we had to face. So we thought what we can do. So we thought that 24/7 probably will not fit to them, and then we went to another area as the QA. And we actually took those ladies and taught them how to, and Gilly will say a little bit more about that, but we actually took them and have them a training of manual QA and automation QA. And that gave us a big area that we can take into our project and go for and maximum the potential of those ladies and bring them into the company. Another goal that I saw when we done this project is actually the proud that I felt from my manager being involved in just kind of a project. It's not that we are facing every days. Sometimes we are running on our project, but once we engage with those ladies, heard the story and what we felt from them and the ambitions that they have, and when we felt that we can fulfill them, we felt that that must go on. And all the manager and supporting professional and take responsibility of it. So we gained two things. We had those ladies into the company, and I got a really passionate managering that very proud to work in SolarEdge and take this part. So I moved to Gilly to explain much more.
Thanks, Ricky. So I want to go to the solution of this program consists of 4 main stages. So the first one is to create a group of women. Here we've partnered with Samana, which is a local nonprofit that is community-based, led by Bedouin women. They've turned to women from the Bedouin community. They've led a thorough selection process and created the group of women for this program. We've then, Ricky's team has built a 4-month tailor-made training program. And because we understood that these women will not be able to come and work at our offices, with the help of Portland Trust, we've actually established a tech hub inside the Bedouin village. We've actually went there, SolarEdge team, Ricky's team, our chief of IT, everyone went there, and we saw the entire community. We've met the municipality representative. Really, there was a sense that something huge is happening at the level of the village and the entire community. At the last stage, of course, is to start working at SolarEdge. So I want to go back to the 4 challenges that we've mapped earlier and show you how we used those challenges to curate the content, the program to answer the specific cultural needs of Bedouin women and not just do what we already know how to do. So the first 2 challenges, the educational gap and the lack of digital skills, we understood we have to provide these women and knowledge that extends beyond the professional knowledge. And that's why the training program consists of the wide variety of contents like business process, digital tools, English language, soft skills, intro into high-tech workflows, and even CV and interview preparation. In regards to geography, most of the training took place in their village. Ricky's team actually left the offices and went all the way there every time they taught a session. But we did want to bring them to our company as well for them to get a sense of the high-tech environment and kind of get connected to SolarEdge as a company. And in terms of unemployment, then the training program was always linked to employment possibilities because it was very important for us to create this career path for these women to vision where they can get thanks to this program. Now, if you remember, I told you that when we started, our thesis was that if we will handle the tip of the iceberg, the impact that we will have will extend far beyond this specific population into more impact circles. And I want us to look at that. So the first beneficiaries, obviously, are all the incredible women who graduated from the program. All of them graduated, we had no dropouts, and all of them were offered and accepted jobs with SolarEdge at the end of the program. But even more than that, we saw the impact on Bedouin women who now have role models to aspire to. We saw the impact on the entire Bedouin village, the entire community. Research shows that 80% of the Bedouin community don't even know anyone working at the high-tech sector. So it's not even something they perceive as an option for them, which has now changed. We saw the impact it had on SolarEdge. We now have employees that are motivated, that are loyal, that bring new perspective to the table, and also specific impact on Ricky's team that has led the training, that, as she said, their sense of pride at SolarEdge rose, and the human connection that was created thanks to this program is really incredible. And then we see other solar companies, other high-tech companies that are now scaling this model. So at the end of the day, I hope that we were able to show you the incredible impact we saw in bringing these 2 ends together. And I think this is highly crucial due to the fact that renewable energy industry is just raising the amount of open positions that it will have in the following years. And it's really an opportunity for a win-win-win-win situation, as we showed you here. And I want to finish off not with my words, but with Aya's words, who's one of the participants of the program, who, when interviewed for a local newspaper, said, "I am very satisfied with the change I have made in my life and happy that I am working in a field that I love. Nowadays, young women I don't even know call me and ask how I was able to integrate into high tech. If you want to make a change in your life, believe in yourself and go conquer the goal." Thank you.
Thank you so much, and that's definitely very unique, a very unique thing that you did. So thank you so much for presenting. So last but not least, I would like to give the floor to Solitech. So Vilnius, who's product manager at Solitech, could you please take the floor? Thank you so much.
Hello to everyone. It's really nice being here and being able to share in general good practices. I would like to ask one thing. Okay, I already see the presentation. Thank you. So yeah, it's okay, yeah. So thank you. So yeah, I'll probably just go and start with. As I said, that it's really great pleasure just being here and sharing the good practices of our company and what we are doing in the area of diversity. So just to start with, even before starting as a Solitech, the BOD group of which Solitech is a part was socially responsible company. The company group cared about inclusion, employment, and giving everyone a chance. Our founder and current main shareholder is a racing enthusiast. He and another racing enthusiast, whose name is Ginteras, have been a good friends for a long time, and unfortunately, it did not spare Ginteras. And in 1997, and during a car accident, he suffered severe back injuries and became disabled. However, he didn't give up. He never stopped playing sports and became a source of inspiration for the others. And in 2007, he founded the nonprofit organization. If translate English, it sounds "you can," with the aim of employing people with disabilities. Our main shareholder couldn't remain indifferent to his friend's story, and as soon as you can obtain the status allowing them to employ members of their community, Solitech was the first company to sign a long-term cooperation agreement with the UCAN in 2009 and employed 5 people with physical disabilities. Since then, as Solitech has grown, more members of the UCAN community have joined our production, and around 20 of disabled individuals are working at Solitech currently. Our commitment as a company is to create a workplace that is supportive and inclusive, where everyone feels recognized, respected, and cherished. And to fulfill this commitment, we have actively worked to promote inclusivity by hiring individuals with hearing disabilities. This decision not only made our colleagues with the hearing disabilities feel valid and respected, but also had a positive impact on the entire team. And yeah, as I say, in our company, fostering an inclusive workplace that values diversity has always been a core commitment. Nevertheless, we acknowledge that this journey has presented its share of challenges. When we initially began hiring individuals with hearing disabilities, we definitely encountered communication hurdles. It was a learning process for all of us, and we understood the need to adapt and to discover innovative solutions to ensure effective communication for everyone involved. First of all, either when we have some meetings with them or during the company events, we hire a translator to a sign language to ensure that they didn't feel left out, and in general, fostering a sense of teamwork and inclusion. Secondly, our team at the initial stages stepped in with an ingenious idea. They conceived a T-shirt featuring 4 distinct icons, each representing specific task or words. And this innovation marked a significant leap forward and greatly facilitated communication with our employees. In the early stages, we also grappled with the balance between work and leisure. Since deaf employees communicate through sign language, their manual work on the factory floor would occasionally pause when they are engaged in friendly conversations. But after all, who doesn't enjoy some pleasant workplace chat? Therefore, our shift managers invested considerable effort in fine-tuning schedules for deaf employees, ensuring both productivity and leisure time. Also, employees with hearing disabilities were integrated into various shifts to prevent them from feeling isolated as a group. Another initiative is the integration of the Ukrainian war refugees, naturally followed pretty similar path. Solitech has always been a company with a strong patriotic sentiments, which are rooted in democratic principles and values. Another shareholder of the BOD group, which you can actually see on the photo in the left, serves in the Lithuania Voluntary Armed Forces for a long time. So as a result, Solitech became one of the first companies to employ Ukrainian refugees when the large-scale invasion started in 2022. Since then, 32 Ukrainian war refugees have been employed at our company. Majority of them either returned to their homeland or decided to move to the other countries. And currently, Solitech employ 6 people from Ukraine. And when we started hiring Ukrainian employees, we understood the importance of not only integrating them into our team, but also demonstrating our support and appreciation. Both people with disabilities and Ukrainian war refugees now feel like full-fledged members of society. They first arrived, we could say that some of them had lower self-esteem, suffered from psychological trauma, had less confidence in their abilities, and felt inferior. However, upon receiving equal rights, they realized they could improve their qualification just like employees without disabilities or without a refugee status and receive fair wages. They can become full-fledged citizens. We faced initial difficulties of refugee integration, including a war-related trauma, psychological distress from losing family and homes, cultural shocks, and stress in new environment. So in order to address these issues, we assigned shift leaders who spoke their native language, asked questions related to their home countries, and they even connected and interacted with them through social networks to provide support outside by work, which seems like, I would say, a really small thing, but by simply liking some of their posts or leaving heartwarming and positive comments, this approach actually was fully appreciated by our disabled employees. Our head of production went above and beyond to support refugees at work. He sought out positive news from Ukraine, and upon arriving at work, even asked, "Have you seen how the Ukraine military achieved this or succeeded in particular battle?" Ukrainian refugees also encountered challenges as finding accommodation and obtaining basic necessities for themselves and their families. So as a company, we took initiative to contribute various items such as clothing, children toys, bicycles, and more. And what's truly heartening is that this wasn't one-time event. Since then, we have constantly been involved in community contributions. We firmly believe that small gestures can make a significant difference in ensuring that everyone feels included and valued. This collective effort brought us even closer together, deepening our bonds. And through our experience, we witnessed how integrating people into our workforce has motivated our other employees. And in general, in our workplace, we hold a strong belief that diversity enhances our work culture and strengthens our sense of community. Of course, saying that, it's important to understand, is it something unique to us, or that can be integrated also into other companies? So we have no doubt that every manufacturing company or a company where highly specific knowledge or skills are not essential and where it's not mandatory to speak the language can implement what we have achieved basically by three main steps. First of all, active collaboration with the community, not through the intermediaries like employment agencies, but direct collaborations. In our case, for example, with the deaf community. They understand the most significant issues, know their people well, and can identify those who are genuinely motivated and capable of working. Secondly, it's creativity. Solutions like t-shirts with polls to facilitate communication could serve as excellent icebreakers and significantly ease initial interactions. And third thing is a mediator. So at least one person should be capable of communicating in some way with both, in our case, deaf refugees employees are and the rest of the team. So simply to finalize, everything is taking care of our employees goes beyond the workplace. Uh, it involves providing them with exceptional conditions, investing much more time into training, inquiring about their well-being outside of work, and showing genuine interest in how, of Ukrainians, their country is faring. And this isn't one-time campaign. We have started doing it almost 15 years ago. We're still doing, and we definitely have no plans to stop it, especially it is transmitted to everyone vertically from the main shareholders. And mainly, we want to demonstrate to both individuals and society as a whole that with a little more effort, one can find an incredible employee, colleague, and at the same time offer a renewed sense of life to someone who has lost it. It's basically about restoring the self-confidence, helping them find new friends, activities, employment, and reintegrating them into society for an active and fulfilling life. So thank you for attention.
Thank you so much, Vilius, for this presentation. Well, we have seen that they all had extremely different projects, so I think it's going to be very hard for you to choose at home. So I would like to open the Slido now to all the people who are watching. And then in the meantime, while you can vote at home, I would like to do another little round table to kind of see what was your feeling about those presentations. Milan, Sofiane, would you like to start?
Well, as we said, we most focus on the inclusiveness of people with disabilities. So it was, of course, important to see that there were some of these submissions and presentations. And Sufyan, why is it important that people with disabilities, specifically people with intellectual disabilities, get a chance with employment and get a good job?
Because companies shouldn't be afraid to employ people with disabilities because they'll learn new things and they'll be able to see, oh, I could have done this different, and it's not afraid. Companies shouldn't be afraid to hire people with disabilities.
Thank you so much. Marine, would you like to say a few words about what you have seen, the presentation, what grabbed your interests?
Yeah, I found all of them really so interesting also because it's about different initiative, different perspective, and they really demonstrate, the three of them, that diversity is not an end, it's a journey, because certain focused more on really on gender and how to set up a gender just, let's say, a working environment. Another one was more about ethnic minority and also indigenous group, which is something absolutely critical, of course, when we talk about inclusion. And the last one was more about physical and intellectual disability and those form of vulnerability that can come from external events as well. And I find for me, they should all win because they are all really so interesting and specific, and there is so much to learn from those three initiatives. And next year we will see other examples. So I'm really looking forward for all of those activities to kind of show up. There are some things we have not really fathomed so far on mental health, on sexual orientation and how it can affect the diversity in the workplace as well. So yeah, let's say that it's about creating a caring environment, and this kind of platform is really about that. Let's look after each other because we are, as humanity, we are one.
Yes, definitely, and it's interesting to see that indeed there's many topics who have not been tackled today, and also this is a reason why we wanted to have not like one winner, but three winners, because I mean it was yeah, all of them won in our eyes, so that's why I wanted to have gold, silver, and bronze, because we all think that they should be awarded for what they have done. Last but not least, Amélie, what did you think about these presentations?
Yeah, I mean, my fellow jury members have already pointed out a lot, but maybe just a few bits from my side. I think something that really struck me from the first presentation by Rescoop is that they clearly spoke about the type of attitude that you need when you focus on these projects, which is this continuous need to be open to learning. Because it's a hard topic. It's hard to convince people to address their own privilege, to look at how they should include other people, be open to that, step over their prejudices. They can be tough conversations, and they really demonstrated that attitude of, okay, we're open, we're learning, we're trying to grow, we're doing as much as we can, but we'll still run into different hurdles. And you could see that with all the candidates today, that they came across challenges in their work and in their projects. And they all overcame them in different ways, and that was super inspirational. I think what was interesting about the Solar Edge project as well specifically is that in our organization too, we have a lot of discussions about intersectionality and how that works. And this was a really concrete case study of focusing on supporting Bedouin women find their role and their place within the energy sector. So for me, that was really interesting to see such a concrete example, so that we make these terms, which to some people might sound fuzzy and strange, or that only belong in some document somewhere deep in the files of a company. This is a concrete project, and it's helped people to find their place. So it was wonderful to hear from the candidates again today, and excited to see who will get the prizes.
Thank you. So I think people are currently still voting, but I would like to connect to the studio, and if they could, yeah, close the poll now, and then let us know who is the winner. So. I think that we can wait a few more seconds, but I will already take the time to thank you all of you for joining this day. I hope that also the people at home, you had a good time, and here it is. So actually the gold winner is Rescop EU. We have the silver winner, which is Solitech, and the bronze winner, which is Solar Edge. So congratulations, and now I pass the floor to Rescop EU for a few final words about the win.
Great. Thank you very much. Thank you really very much. The thing is that we haven't really prepared for this welcome the award. We're super happy to have won this prize but maybe, as I said, for us it's very important that we have been nominated together with all the other participants, because we need to keep on talking about this. We need to keep on talking about how important it is to actually work for more inclusion, for more diversity, for a more just energy transition. Sarah, if you want to add something.
Thank you very much, and it was great being here. Thanks a lot also for the jury for those nice words, and it was also very inspirational to see the other organizations presenting their work. I think we can only learn from one another, as you said. So thank you very much.
We're gonna reach out to you to really try to, work together on some things, because so many new things, so many new ideas. Thanks a lot.
And so, as you see, we we don't have an award in the studio because indeed we didn't know in advance who was gonna win. So you will receive your award at home afterwards. But thank you so much for your time, and also I hope that you've enjoyed this Solar Works Fair, that you had good networking time during the breaks, that you met interesting companies and fellow enthusiast of the energy sector. So maybe if I have one last sentence for you before you go, would be join the solar sector and hopefully see you soon. Thank you.